got niggas in our comment section saying like, why are you reviewing this garbage? So we're definitely not alone.
Yeah. I feel like that guy probably just doesn't read it either, though. He's just like, you guys, I listened to your opening, and you didn't mention the one manga that I do read, but you mentioned 8 that I don't, and I hate it.
And I'm mad.
Why don't you guys review all these popular things? Like, bro, if we cared about like reviewing stuff that everybody read, then it'd just be One Piece, fucking Hunter x Hunter, and fucking, we wouldn't be talking about half of this shit if we were just making content to talk about stuff that everybody likes. We'd be talking about Dragon Ball, motherfucker.
Yeah, we'd be hitting
Boruto
like once every 4 episodes. Yeah,
it's like, bro, we're not doing this just to talk about stuff that everybody likes. Like, this is, if these stories like Astro Royale, stick around and end up here for 2-3 years, it'll be nicer on our podcast resume that we've been talking about it for 2 years versus like, oh, these guys just hopped on it after
because
it got hot.
It's cool now.
Now we've been here. We've been here, baby.
We want to shine light on some of the more obscure titles, because like in our area of manga discussion, it seems like people have like tunnel vision for like one magazine and only like a couple of the most popular titles from that magazine. And it's like there's huge conversational value inside of so many other stories across publication lines, and like everybody only wants to talk about like 3 things. So it's like, look at how much content there is, and like how much discussion value there is for all of these things that you fucking decided to ignore because it didn't have a bunch of hype behind it. You know what I mean?
Let me get on that.
Expand your fucking horizons, dude. Like, holy fuck.
The amount of times I see people be like, oh, Shonen Jump is cooked, and meanwhile they throw in like Attack on Titan, Fire Force, and that collage. Like, Shonen Jump is cooked. These series aren't even Jump. What the hell are you talking about?
Not only do people not know the difference between these publication lines, they just assume that any fucking manga only belongs to one, and it's just like, bro, like,
it's
why?
not Marvel and DC when it comes to manga.
Yeah.
Let me get on my soapbox real quick, because Ranger Reject is not a flop. Like, just because you watched the first episode or the first season of the anime and you saw people complaining about the quality of it, that does not mean it's a flop. This manga is amazing. Read it. Educate yourself.
Not only is it amazing and give us and anybody who reads it a lot to talk about like week to week, but like I'm pretty sure the sales are jumping out the gym for Ranger Reject over in Weekly Shonen Magazine.
I think it's decent for a weekly Shonen Magazine, because Shonen Magazine doesn't, like, they have their outliers like fucking Tokyo Revengers that does fucking JJK numbers, but for the most part, like, they're not like, Weekly Shonen Magazine is not frequently pumping out like 100,000 volume sales series. It's like that shit happens every once in a while, and everything else is just doing their numbers. And Ranger has been existing for 15 volumes now. It's doing what it needs to do, and it's got, like you said, it's giving us a lot to talk about. And it's like, why would you want a podcast to talk about the same thing you hear from 6 other podcasts? You listen to 6 to 10 other YouTubers, and they're all releasing fucking reviews for One Piece. You don't need an 11th One Piece reviewer. Why not have somebody talk about something different? Nope. Right. Maybe you can find somebody reading Galaxius, but like, drop them in the comments. Let me know who's reviewing Galaxius each week. Who's other than Weeb, who's
that ain't
reviewing
here.
That ain't here. Like, why not have something different for people who we're doing something for people who don't have anywhere to go.
Who's reviewing Ranger Reject weekly? I can tell you there's only one.
It's like, but like, we might not be reviewing the most popular thing, but somebody appreciates that, like, they can come here and listen to a conversation about the manga that they like. We don't have to be the 30th person reviewing a series, and then like the conversation is just like, yep, that was fire, so let's talk about the next series.
Like the point of this podcast is for us to discuss 9 different manga, and we don't expect everyone that stops by to watch the complete video, because there's going to be some manga that maybe they haven't read, but maybe they'll tune into a part for like 5 minutes and they're like, oh, this manga seems cool, and then they go and start reading it, and then they're like, yeah, I'm caught up. seeing someone say, "Yeah, I'm caught up because of your podcast," is a highlight for us.
Yeah, and like
Love
we're
that.
not like fucking clout hungry weirdos that just like chase trends and shit like that. We're trying to, you know, show people the conversational power of some of these like underrepresented and slept on series that we enjoy and like talking about. You know what I mean? And if you guys are reading these shits too, then pull up and hear, you know, get a different opinion on it or whatever. Like that's something that is so valuable to me in my experience with manga, is how much more I appreciate certain stories that I read because there's a community that is focused on discussing them weekly and showing, you know, things that I didn't notice myself reading it alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, I really enjoyed this chapter, but now I enjoy this chapter 3 times more because 4 other people like introduced like ideas that I would have never came to the conclusion, you know, to myself reading it, you know, by myself. And now I just appreciate the whole series a lot more because other people's opinions and input kind of like shine light on things that went over my head or that, you know, flew under my radar. You know what I mean? Like that is such a good feeling to realize that something that you were already enjoying is actually that much better and you couldn't have found that out by yourself. You know what I mean?
And I've definitely already had at least like 3 people like tell me specifically like, yeah, I'm catching up on this thing so that I can watch the whole. Like there's people who might only listen to like 4 of the segments, but they're telling, you know, they're messaging like, yeah, I'm catching up on fucking Centuria right now so I can listen to the Centuria segment or whatever. Like
yeah,
people are catching up.
That's the best comment to see.
Yeah, it's like, yo, I love that. Like join. I can't wait for you to join us and be here, you know, give us theories and tell us when we miss shit, because that's a great feeling. So yeah, that was a little ramble, but had to be said, man, because like, you know, some people don't get it, man. We're not just chasing hype, bro. Trying to build something.